Hey there, wonderful humans. Happy summer, y'all. It's the Board Game Dads here. My name is Anthony,
And my name is Eric.
and we are so excited because we're doing something that we have never done before. Eric, we've done some seasonal spotlights in the past,
We have.
one for winter, one for spring, which were standalone videos where we brought you a couple of games about that particular season or that had some aspects of that season in it. But for summer, we're going off the charts here with our Board Game Dads Summer Block Party. It's going to be a series of videos all throughout the summer, each with a different theme. And there's going to be some special guests and a live show and all kinds of cool stuff going on. So we're super excited for that. Eric, you want to elaborate a little bit on maybe what some of the themes are?
Sure. Well, so we kind of decided that we were going to break summer down into what do we think of when we think of summer? What like what do we do? Uh, just what are some of the themes and settings that you would associate with this season? And so we both kind of came up with our own list and then we discussed them and we came up with 7 different themes of summer. And I think it's a great list, and I'm very excited about our 7 themes this summer here.
Yeah,
I
me too.
think this is a wonderful, wonderful time to do something like this and have this nice big block party and be able to cover all this ground about all these games because I love playing thematic games, not thematic games like with
Right.
complexity and everything, but over summer. I want to play games about maybe stuff that I'm doing in summer. If I go on vacation, I want to bring a game about, being on vacation. So I'm very excited for this.
Yeah,
I,
there's so much content. We couldn't just do it in one video. We were gonna stuff was gonna get cut left and right, and it's too exciting to not do more. So, like I said, we're going all out. So 7 themes of summer. Eric, I'm gonna let you go ahead and tell everyone the first one because I know that this was the first thing that came to mind when you were making this list.
Absolutely. So in this household, we love Shark Week. Shark Week is easily one of the top 3 holidays of the year. We go all out, not all out like we decorate outside with a giant shark or anything like National Lampoon style, but we watch all of it. We celebrate it. It's a lot of fun. And so I'm very excited that we get to do an episode where we focus on shark games because
Mm.
I tell you, sharks, my wife and I have been buying board games specifically because they have sharks in them, because we like to play these kinds of games around Shark Week.
Right, right.
So it doesn't matter if the game is any good or not. We'll pick it up if we're like, hey, there's a shark somewhat prominently featured in this game. All right, well, we'll just get it. We'll get it and we'll play it sometime. So
And it might suck, but who cares?
yeah, and a lot of them do. But yeah, that's
So just to clarify the hierarchy here, I'm deducing it goes Christmas, Halloween, Shark Week in your house.
I don't have the official list because I'd have to consult with my wife.
Ah, wise man.
But I might go so far as to say that Shark Week could be number 2,
Wow.
and Halloween and or Thanksgiving, right? We have very young kids. We have one very young kid, one in the oven. And so we haven't really experienced the Halloween as great as it can be with children yet.
Okay, that's fair.
But currently cooking a big meal and doing Thanksgiving Day stuff and playing Thanksgiving board games is still something that we can do. So that's up. And St. Patrick's Day too. But yes, you're in the ballpark with Halloween.
Okay, okay. No, I can attest to it. I've witnessed the decorations. Eric and Melissa have a tree that stays up all year, a little tree that stays up all year round.
It's a Snoopy Christmas tree.
Right, right. And it gets decorations for each holiday. And I've seen the shark tree in all of its glory, and it is wonderful.
Yep.
All right. So one of the first things that came to mind for me is the American holiday, July 4th, Independence Day. You know, there's this thing that like Memorial Day weekend is the unofficial kickoff of summer. I've
Right.
never really been a fan of that, to be honest with you. I don't know if it stems from I've never been a fan of going where all those people are going. Like I don't want to go down the shore on Memorial Day weekend. So for me, whatever, that didn't make any sense. And you're still in school when Memorial Day weekend is. So, it's not summer yet. And by the calendar, it's not summer technically either. That's not until June 21st or whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
So July 4th, I think, kind of kicks things off. I mean, it's right by the beginning of July, so it like just kind of started. And I mean, fireworks. We used to drive around. My parents used to drive around and just, oh, look, there's some over there. Let's go try to find where they are for
Yep.
like 5 minutes or whatever, right? Just we can see kind of between these two trees. And even now, I get really excited when there's just random ones that kind of like go off. And I do want to note that some people are not a big fan of that for various reasons. But as a kid, a fireworks display was something that I really looked forward to. And for me, that was more of a kickoff to like, hey, here's summer season started. Here's a bunch of lights in the sky. Yeah, that's July 4th. The all Americana thing is kind of fun. That's
Oh,
my first one.
absolutely. July 4th was second best thing about summer to me. I love it. I love the fireworks, the whole thing. And that was usually a weekend when we were younger that we would go camping. July 4th weekend, because maybe it
Okay,
was a
yeah,
longer week. So, my dad was able to get, a certain amount of extra time off for vacation. We would go camping somewhere and then we would see fireworks. We would have sparklers at the fire and everything. So yeah, that definitely is a big part of summer, July 4th. Can't have a
nice.
summer without July 4th. That's just how it goes chronologically.
Well, yeah, sure. You can if you don't live in the U.S.
That is true. You still get a July 4th though.
Well, as I'm saying, you still get a physical July 4th. It doesn't mean anything.
All right. So the next topic to me that I think about when I think about summer, and it's very similar to sharks, but it's just the ocean, right? Not specific to just sharks, but everything having to do with the ocean, going to the beach or whatever is lurking beneath the sea. That is really exciting to me. That's a huge one of my favorite themes of all games is just the ocean and so I had to add that to this list.
Absolutely, I agree. It's just it's crazy how much of the ocean is still like unexplored or unexplorable. It's just like it's so deep. And you read these books, I forget which book it was, or maybe it was like a something on the internet. It was something where you literally scrolled like on the screen and saw what fish or sea life live at each, kind of
Hmm,
like level. And
cool.
then there was a part where you were like scrolling and scrolling, nothing, 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 nothing. And like this hideous creature would just appear, and it's like, holy crap, this thing really lives down. I mean, it's like mythological. It's crazy. So yeah, lots of cool stuff in the ocean, and definitely no lack of board games with an ocean theme for sure.
Not only that, but again, you can't have summer without thinking about going to the beach. If you live in an area geographically that's close to a lake or close to the ocean, you're probably going to go to the beach during
Right.
the summer and go in the ocean, maybe try surfing or boogie boarding or just going and getting a tan or whatever it is that you do at the ocean.
Yeah, and if you don't geographically live that close, people tend to travel for that reason.
That
I
is
mean,
true.
there's going to Wildwood as a kid every year. There were always people from other countries on the
Oh yeah,
beaches and stuff like that. So,
we'd see a lot of Canadian plates going down there.
no, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Good point. All right, so my next one is really a theme that I enjoy in games anyway, and that's food. And so for summer specifically, I think there are some foods, and again, you can eat any kind of food basically any time of the year you want if you have access to it. But there's some foods that are kind of synonymous with summer. You can eat hot dogs all year round, but you're probably going to eat more hot dogs in summer than the other three seasons. unless you're training for some kind of eating competition or something. And then you've got all your sweet stuff like boardwalk food and your funnel cakes and cotton candy and all that good stuff. What about you? What's good summer food you got?
I like a lot of the fresh fruits and vegetables that you go out and you get these during the summer.
That's true.
I got to tell you, my local ShopRite just yesterday finally got cherries in. I've been waiting for cherries all winter, all spring. Finally, we got them in. So we bought, I'm not even kidding, about 4 pounds of cherries.
Nice.
And then we went back today and we bought another 4 pounds of cherries.
Oh my God.
I also went over to Kohl's and got a cherry pitter. So I've just been sitting here pitting cherry and then throwing them in the freezer. And then, we'll make a nice smoothie for our daughter and for us as well. But yeah, I got really excited that cherries came back. We got a lot of cherries in this house now.
You're lucky that they're small.
I am. You know what else I'm lucky? I've never used a cherry pitter before. I literally just went out, bought it, came home, started pitting cherries, and it's awesome. I love it. I thought it was going to be kind of bogus, like it was going to smash them or whatever, and it works really good.
Do you have to take the stem off?
Yeah. The stem is real tiny. You can, you have to line it up pretty much. You want to put, where the stem goes in at the top. And then once you close it, sometimes it'll just shoot that stem right on through with the pit. It's not flawless though. You still have human error and, you do it, but maybe the pit comes off to the side and then you think it's done. You throw it in the bowl, then you find a pit later. Anyway, cherries.
Welcome to Board Game Dads, folks, where we talk all things produce and kitchen utensils.
And I love watermelon in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And fresh vegetables, but man, cherries and watermelon.
Agreed.
Also, and I haven't, as to my knowledge, there are no games about this. I love Slurpees, 7-Eleven Slurpees, especially on Free Slurpee Day, which is June 11th.
Hey, there you go.
July 11th. I apologize. July 11th. Because it's 7-Eleven. But yeah, I love having myself a nice Slurpee during a hot summer.
Nice. All right, what's next?
All right, what's next? So just kind of like your generic outdoor activities that you would do in the summer, right? We already spoke upon camping. So that is a generic. We're not gonna do a whole thing about camping. Otherwise, by the time we were done with this list, it would be fall already. So we're going to kind of lump a lot of these events that you might go to in the summer, the things that aren't really around the rest of the year, but in the summer, all of a sudden, like you got all these events, all these local activities happening, and we're going to talk about a few of them.
Yeah, a lot of local concerts in the summertime.
Yeah, that's no spoilers.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
No spoilers. You talked about cherries.
I love cherries, though.
I love concerts in the park.
That is true. But yeah, so that's a big part of summer is that's when you go to the concerts, you go to these events that are happening outdoors usually because it's summer.
Right.
So what do you got for us?
All right. Well, I mean,
as if I didn't have a list right in front of me.
Right. But to counter, you got 2 picks in there that both contain animals. You managed to get sharks as a completely separate category, and then all other ocean life. So I had to go with something above sea level. So I basically said summer nature. So summer wildlife that's not oceanic. And that could include animals and insects and plants and things like that.
Yeah.
Because there's some of them that you really only see in summer. And, we have talked about gardening a lot in the past, and we did probably for the spring one, we probably talked about that too. But, the end result of that is really comes to fruition in summer and then eventually fall if you're doing like a harvest thing. But in terms of flowers, they're going to be popping up in the summertime.
Yeah, they are. The good ones that last will.
Yeah, that's true.
We just got a bunch of zinnias. Can't wait to put them in all different colors.
Nice.
Yeah, we're gonna have a nice butterfly friendly garden in the back.
You know, Morgan's Farm had a butterfly like plant sale
Oh, cool.
recently, so we have a couple of milkweed plants out in the front.
Nice.
All right, so that's mine. That's my last one actually. I think you have one more, right?
Right. So the final one, and this was a no-brainer when we were talking about making this list, is pirate games, right? We got the oceans, we got the sharks, we got everything having to do with above the ocean, below the ocean. Now we've got pirates.
Mhm.
And between the smuggling and the shooting and the sword fighting and the sailing and
Swashbuckling.
and the swashbuckling and the hiding the treasure and finding the treasure and searching for the treasure, there's so many different aspects that you can use in pirate games, and I can't wait to talk about a bunch of them. I'm very excited about this one.
Yeah, that's a big theme. There's definitely
Yeah,
a lot of pirate games out there
yeah. I'll
for
have a
sure.
number. I'll have a number of honorable mentions for this one in particular.
Well, lucky for you, there is a National Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Right.
Is in
That's not
September,
until
so
September, though.
right. But I'm saying then you get another chance to talk about
That's
pirates
true.
there. All right, so there's the 7 themes of summer. So there's 7 different videos you're going to see throughout the weeks in summer,
Not counting this video.
not counting this video exactly. So that'll be 8 videos, and then plus we're going to wrap it up. We've got a 9th video week, so that's August 18th. We're very excited because this is going to be a live one, Eric's first live stream.
First live stream.
All right, first live stream. We're going to wrap up the summer block party. We're going to talk all about kind of themes that we wrap up, talk about the themes we talked about throughout the weeks, mention some of the games. But much more importantly than that, we want to hear from you. We always ask you guys to leave comments in the videos, and a lot of you do. We really want you, if you've ever like kind of been like on the fence about saying something, go over the fence this time, because we want to get all these comments and highlight them in the final show. Plus, it is going to be live, so if you do tune in, you can chat with us live, and we can highlight some comments that way. And in the whole spirit of the block party thing, you do invite other people over, so there are going to be a couple of special guests. I'm not going to tell you which videos they're going to be on. You never know where they might pop up, but keep an eye out. You might see some familiar faces and maybe even some new ones. Who knows?
And when you do comment, we want to hear what summer means to you, what games you like to play during summer, what kinds of hobbies and interests do you have, or at least partake in, primarily during the summer. And because all these things are things that speak to you in summer, and maybe I don't think of some of these things because I live in the Northeast of America.
Exactly.
And maybe in California or some other country, there's this like cool tradition about summer that I've never heard before. Let's hear it.
Yeah, for sure. So tune in live, set your reminders there. You can set a reminder right now if you are a subscriber to Board Game Dads, and you'll get notified when new things go up. But if you haven't, you should subscribe right now. One of the goals that I have for the summer block party is to get to that magical 100 subscriber mark. As of tonight's recording, which is May 29th, we are currently sitting at 83. Okay, so we need 17 more over the course of the next 9 weeks. I think we can do it, folks.
Let's go, neighbors. Make it a block party.
That's right. Invite your friends and invite their friends, and we'll get to that number. All right, Eric, I think that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, so because we haven't actually done any games specific to summer, and yet this is a summer spotlight video, I thought it might be a good idea to quickly go through a couple of games that, for one reason or another, did not make it or will not be making it into one of these themes that we just mentioned.
Okay, so the Misfits.
The Misfits that are still summer related.
Okay.
So first off, I want to give an honorable mention to Azul Summer Pavilion. Now, I have not played this one. It has been on my radar for a while. I believe they just released an expansion for it called like the Glazed Pavilion or something like that. But I plan on getting it eventually.
Do you have the other 2 or just the original?
I do not own any of them. This will be my first as well. I've only played
Oh, oh,
the
oh.
original.
Gotcha. Cool. All right.
So yeah. Do you have an honorable mention as well?
I guess the honorable mention I would go for cartographers,
Okay.
simply because we've talked about it before, so I don't want to talk about it too much at length. But it has 4 different seasons that are really just scoring objectives. They don't really change the theme or what you're doing in the game. They
Right.
just score at different times, and all 4 seasons are in the game. And like I said, pretty minimal.
All right. So the first game that I want to talk about having to do with summer. Now this is a bit of a stretch. So something that I think of when I think of the summer is hot. And I don't really have a lot of games that focus on how hot it is in the sun. Except there's a game called Forbidden Desert where it has, the weather track on the side and there's cards, and some of the cards say the sun beats down and then it gets hotter in the desert. And that game really feels like, you're looking for shelter from the sun at certain places, and it really feels like you're trying to stay out of the sun in the summer or in the desert or in the desert in the summer. So I wanted to bring it up because it's a great game. It's a cooperative game, and you're teaming up. You're trying first. You have to find this treasure, which is a really cool mechanism and how that's done that I'm not going to explain right now. But if you haven't already played Forbidden Desert, you are missing out. It's the best of the trilogy, right? There's Forbidden Island, Forbidden Desert, Forbidden Sky, and easily, and I've played all three, easily the best of the three.
Yeah, that's fair. I've
Yep.
never played the Sky one, but it didn't really seem like a lot of people liked it.
It's gimmicky.
All right, so I got a couple games that are in this sort of the same genre, I would say. So, but with a slight difference. So the first one is called Kingsburg. Kingsburg is a dice placement game. So it's kind of like a worker placement game, but you're placing dice on the board. This is a board that has a giant council of all these people in the kingdom, I guess. From the king and queen on top all the way down to all these other people on the bottom, and they each have a different die value on them. And so you roll a bunch of dice, and you place them on these different people to take whatever action they have. And there's several phases throughout each round in the game, and you actually do go through the 4 seasons in this game. Now, summer is in it. It doesn't stand out from the rest of the seasons, but it is one of the seasons. In summer and spring and fall, you are doing that worker placement, die placement thing. And then in between those are other actions in the game that I'm not really going to go into because they're not that important. But you do end off in winter in that game where you have to fight some nasty beasts from down the block, I guess. So that's my first pick, Kingsburg.
All right. And so my second and final pick is a game not a lot of people have heard of it, called Everdell. I know. I've talked about Everdell before. It's a great game. But really, summer is just one of the rounds, right? There's a fall round, there's a summer round, there's a spring round, a summer round, a fall round, and it really doesn't do much else than exist in the game as the name of the second round in the game.
Right.
And there's a whole lot of games that we could list that do the same thing. But I chose Everdell because it has cute animal meeples. And I love it so much. And we own all the expansions. And one of the expansions, Spirecrest, also has a separate part of the board and has something to do with seasons as well.
Okay.
There's certain cards that you can get once you're done with the first season. Then you can get one of 3 cards that come out for you having to do with that season. It's
Gotcha.
cool. Again, I know I've talked about Spirecrest in the past, but I love it. I don't plan on playing Everdell without it. So what do you got? Number 4. What are you gonna send us off on right now, Anthony?
All right. So like I said, it is in the same genre in that it is worker placement, and this is one of the greatest worker placement games. I think a lot of people would say anyway. That's Viticulture. I happen to have the Essential Edition. There's a Tuscany expansion that has some parts in this Essential Edition. It was a whole weird thing with how many versions of this game there were. Not relevant. What is relevant, though, is there are the 4 seasons in this game, but only during the winter. No, sorry. Yeah, winter and summer are you doing the actual worker placement. And what's cool about this game is there are certain spaces that are only available in the summer season. But when you start the game or start the round, you have a set amount of workers. You can put as many as you want out during the winter phase, but if you put them all out, you're not going to have anybody for the summer phase. So you have to decide how you kind of want to split things up. It's thematic more so than I think an Everdell or a Kingsburg, because it is, you're on the vineyard, you're planting things, you're building structures. And it does kind of make sense the way they split up what you would do in winter versus what you would do in the summer. And then the other 2 seasons in the game are when I think you attract visitors, like you do tours in the spring or something like that. And something else spring, you decide when to wake up. If you want to wake up earlier, you get to do the first actions. You can wake up later and get more stuff or something. So great game, Viticulture. Not one that gets to the table that often. It's, I guess, for my collection, it's on the longer side for game length for sure. Wow, but man, it's so good. Great components. And it's about wine.
Right.
I mean, it's, perfect pairing.
Yeah, I've only played this game once, but it's very, and I don't use these words often to describe board games. It was very smooth and elegant. It just had a nice flow to it. And I've only ever said that kind of thing about Castles of Burgundy. So there you go. I guess you got, some pretty good company.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that I like that game. It was a good time.
Nice. All right, there you have it, folks. Those were almost the honorable mentions. Kind of got almost like their own video, which is kind of cool.
That's true.
The opening act in the concert block party summer series special. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up for us here. Tune in next week. We'll have our first video in the summer block party, which will be our July 4th one. Until then, my name is Anthony.
My name is Eric.
And we're the Board Game Dads. We'll see you next time.
I'm so excited for the summer block party.